Dabota gave Caroline a taste of her own medicine, and Caroline was crying wolf. Miriam gave Laura a taste of her own pills, and Laura just couldn't handle the heat. My people, my people. I just finished watching the part two of the reunion of the Real Housewives of Lagos season 3, and I will tell you guys what I think about it. But was it worth the hype though? I don't think so, because I mean, I've seen season 1's reunion, which was fire. I've seen season two's reunion, which was a bit lacking, and now season three. I have some things to say, but before then, let's talk about what had happened in the second part of the reunion for this season. Let's start with Miriam and Laura. To be honest, when Uti started with both of them, I honestly didn't think that was something to be talked about. I thought they were cool, but listening to them, I've come to the realization that they were just those friends that, those people that would say hello, hi, but they were not really friends. Yeah, that was Miriam and Laura. Because I also remembered, throughout the show, we saw them, giving subtle jabs at each other, even at Miriam's event, we saw Laura's confessionals during Caroline's party, we saw the joke, yeah, that Laura had to put out about what had happened with Laura, with Miriam and Faith at the last season, that was season 2. And that was the genesis of the whole matter, because after watching that episode and things that Miriam had said during her confessionals about, Laura thinks she can bring jokes with things that has happened to people, or not so funny moments with people, she can still do the same thing. I mean, in season 1, Caroline had called her a runs girl. And Laura just couldn't stand it. Laura had to make a post on Instagram and said, "Dear Miriam, some women, blah, 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 blah." And that was like the basis of the conversation they were having at the reunion. And Miriam was like, you know what? First off, Laura, you did, say things about me and as a joke. And then I said things about you too, because we all have something that, somebody would say about us that will hurt you. And now you are like crying wolf and acting like the victim. And Laura was so pissed. Her veins were popping out from her neck. She was like, why would you even say that I hate you? Why would you even say that you're somebody that I confided in about how that thing hurt me, and all of that. And all I could get from that conversation is that Laura was still hurt about what Caroline had said about her in season 1, calling her a runs girl. Of course, I mean, who wouldn't be hurt by that? And Miriam was trying to say, you hurt me by using something that happened to me in season 2 as a joke. So if I do the same thing to you, do me, I do you, God no go vex. And Laura wasn't here for it. My own verdict is it's a 1-1 situation. If you come for somebody with a joke, and I hate those kind of, insults that are, or jokes that are being laced with insults. If you come for somebody, with that kind of insult, and the person decides to retaliate, you are not the one to tell the person how far they could go. You are not, because you are the aggressor. You started it. So yeah. And Laura was like, why didn't you tell me? Like, why would she tell you? I mean, you went on social media to be posting it. So yeah, that's one. Also, the whole Laura and Caroline. Now, honestly, I thought Laura and Caroline were cool until Laura had said that a few weeks before the reunion, I think they were hanging out or something, and then same thing that happened in season 1 happened in season 2. Caroline had sent her this message, basically accusing her of going around behind their backs to talk about people, always being happy when the ladies are fighting. And Caroline said it to her face, like, you are a two-faced person. And somehow they tried to drag Sophia into this, because Caroline had said that Laura goes around, telling her, be careful of this cast member, be careful of that cast member. And Laura was asking Sophia, do you think I'll say that? At first, they asked Miriam, and Miriam was like, in this group, anything is possible, right? That, she would take it with a pinch of salt. Same thing with Sophia, but Sophia was like, you know what? I feel like Caroline has no reason to lie. And also, I also feel like Laura has no reason to say that, that Caroline should be careful of Sophia and Miriam, because that's what Caroline had said. Now, Laura was like, she never said that. And Caroline stood her ground. Like, Caroline, this reunion was just as her resting bitch face, oh my God, she just stood there like a rock. I'm like, this woman. Laura was just trying to exonerate herself and say she never said that. But Caroline stood on business. My own is, let me not lie to you guys. I don't know if Laura has said that what Caroline has said she said. But one thing that Caroline said that stood out to me was that Laura, whenever the two ladies or the ladies were fighting, she was always happy and giggling. I think I will agree with that because we saw scenes, during this season where she was supposed to be close or cool with Diadem, and she would still be there kicking and laughing when these other ladies were talking trash about Diadem. And I'm like, that's not how a person you feel like you are cool with supposed to act when people were, talking trash about you. Like the way we saw the happiness when there was a fight in the group with Laura. We saw that. So yeah, I'm happy she has actually picked a side, which I actually felt she actually picked that side even before the reunion. That is the side of Dabota and Diana, because we saw her actively trying to make peace with Dabota, because when that issue of Dabota and Laura came, I told you guys, for those of people that were like, during the season, they were like, oh, it was Laura's sister that Dabota was talking about during that conversation with Laura. I said, nah, she said it was Laura. And again, Laura was like, I never said such about you. So yeah, I think they are cool, even though there's no relationship between Laura and Dabota, as they said. They are cordial. Same thing with Laura and, of course, Miriam. Now, moving on to the giant in the room, the elephant in the room, and that is Dabota and Caroline. Honestly, I think at this point they should have invited all these people, the ex-husbands, Danielle, Ehi, because I had a whole lot of names, a stylist, a former best friend, childhood friend, and I'm like, are we talking about what happened this season? We're talking about what happened a decade ago, because hey, Dabota and Caroline's issue, I don't understand it. Like the both ladies, one thing I will give to Caroline is this. When you are explaining, she just keeps quiet and lets you talk. I noticed that. But when she wants to explain, most of the ladies just doesn't want her because, of course, maybe they are triggered by what she says. And the way she just says these things and she just stands her ground and gives that stone face, I do not understand it. See, the matter between Dabota and Caroline, I feel like it's a miscommunication issue. It's beyond what both or whatever Sophia thought it is. No, that's not the issue. The issue here is listening to them. Dabota doesn't feel she was as close to Caroline 10 years ago as Caroline made it to seem. Also, I like to point out that when Dabota had claimed that Caroline slept with her husband, she, from what she explained, was trying to say that, okay, to hurt Caroline, because Caroline had said that she was in cohort with the woman that ruined her marriage or something like that. Like, I understand where she's coming from. Caroline is not the only one that can cook. So if you think you can cook, I'm a better chef. That's basically what Dabota was trying to tell Caroline. And also, apparently, from what I got, Caroline had known Dabota's husband before they got married. Like, I think 5 years or 10 years. I don't know how many years before they got married. I don't know if they had dated, but yeah, they had known each other. And the way Dabota sat and said, when Caroline asked her, did I sleep with your husband? She was like, yes. I'm like, oh my God. So basically, Caroline has not slept with Dabota's husband when the marriage was still ongoing. No, I think they had an affair or dated before both of them got married. So I thought, it's good that we clear that up. But it's also crazy how Caroline was busy talking about defamation of character. You cannot accuse me of adultery on national TV. I'm like, girl, you did the same thing to Laura in season 1. That is still following Laura. In fact, that's the main reason Laura is still not open to any communication with Caroline till today. Like, you accused her of being a runs girl, which is even worse because, okay, somebody had an affair with somebody when, they are married, adultery. Somebody being passed around and being pimped, according to what Caroline said, that's a lot. That's basically like you are a sex for pay person. And the way Laura's face was when Caroline was busy saying that's defamation of character, Laura was like, Shay, you see how it hurts? Yeah. So I feel like Dabota gave Caroline a taste of her medicine. Yeah. And Caroline obviously didn't like the taste at all. See, let me tell you, when both of them were explaining, Dabota was giving us, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I understand. I love how calculated Dabota was. I also love how calculated Caroline was giving us a thing. I feel like Caroline was very emotionally invested because she felt like at that time, not now, she felt like this woman went through what I went through, so why shouldn't she empathize with me? And the butcher from her own end is like, this person, I didn't even know anything like that was going on. This person was, somebody I, did use my product, so I just wanted to advertise my product. And Caroline felt betrayed because when your marriage was falling apart, I was there for you. And now mine is falling apart and you are in cohorts with the people, that brought my marriage apart. So I think that's just the thing here. And I feel like these are things that should have just been talked about. It should have been talked about when they met each other the first time, right? I feel like Caroline, like I said, she has this thing of, or maybe she just did it for the drama. Yeah, because you cannot tell me, because I cannot, honestly, I cannot understand how I am not, you did something as deep as that, or I feel you wronged me like that, and then I will sit with you and be kicking and calling you my love. I cannot do that. And honestly, a lot of women do that today. They laugh with you, but in their hearts, they felt wronged by you, and they would just not, that's not a good thing. Now it's making her look like she's bipolar, it's making her look like she's one kind of liar and everything, and not everybody will understand. Let me not lie to you guys, Dabota actually came prepared for this reunion, and I feel like Dabota and Caroline, they're a match made in heaven. Or more, they can match each other. Story for story. You say I visited you 2 times. This one say no. I remember it. It did. I remember how you looked. It was on November 4th. This one say it was a match. Those women. I love the fact that the face off was between both of them. Now, coming back, did the reunion give what I expected it to give? No, it didn't. Honestly, it didn't. It didn't give. It was just there because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, I kept asking myself, are we doing reunion for the past season? I mean, we are doing reunion for people. Because the people that they were mentioning, almost half of the people they were mentioning in this reunion, Princess Jasmine, oh, Danielle, oh, Ehi, oh, ex-husband, oh, stylist, oh, childhood friend. We don't know them. We were not conversant with anything about them. So you see, that's where this reunion, it was more like nothing really happened this season. So we are going to be concocting or resurrecting stories that happened 10, 15 years ago. And that's not what a reunion should be about. So this reunion, it was there. Uti tried as a host, honestly. And I also felt like it was a lot of, especially the second part, there was a lot of cutting. Because when there was about to be this heated stuff between Caroline and Dabota, I kind of noticed that a lot of cutting happened because Dabota was obviously shaking. If you saw her, like when Caroline was talking, she was obviously shaking. Something was cut off from there, and I don't know what. And I want to lay my hands on that video clip to see what exactly they cut. I mean, these are things you should have left for us to see to, boost up the ratings. Let me know what your thoughts are for this season or for this reunion. What do you think about the part two? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. On that note, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you all for being part of my channel. If you have not yet subscribed, what exactly are you waiting for? Kindly click on the subscription button. Click on the notification bell to let you know whenever I post any new video. Until I come your way again, I remain your darling girl, Ezinnemwilliams. Have yourself a beautiful, wonderful day ahead. Bye, guys.